with that, we continue our Eurovision Song Contest, and we are moving to the United Kingdom, to London actually. And it is my great honor to welcome Douglas Twenefour, who is joining us on behalf of Diabetes UK, the British Diabetes Association. Douglas, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. Hi, Bastian. Thank you for having us.
Douglas, same question to you. I mean, Diabetes UK is probably one of the largest, most powerful diabetes associations in Europe. You are very professionally organized. Some other organizations, I'm sure Maya's organization, look at you with a bit of, I don't want to say jealousy, but many associations struggle with being only volunteer-based. You are one of the largest, or I think the largest association in Europe in terms of members and staff, but also with lots of volunteers all over the country. I really look forward to hearing from you what's happening all over England and the UK on this special day, on World Diabetes Day.
Thank you. Happy World Diabetes Day to you and to everyone joining us today. So this year, our theme for World Diabetes Day is the story. And the thinking is that some of the stories that we've heard about people with diabetes, how they've been diagnosed, it's not a story that we want to continue. So in the UK, we have one person diagnosed with diabetes every 2 minutes. But some of the diagnoses are missed, such that people get diagnosed only when they have DKA or when they've gone back to their GP over and over again. So we want our community to help us to rewrite that story. And in doing so, we have two main campaigns to help raise the awareness around early diagnosis. One is our 40s campaign, which is a campaign to raise awareness around the 4 main symptoms of type 1 diabetes. So being thin, going to toilet, people being, and also people being tired. So these symptoms, we want our community to help us to raise awareness so that people who may have it will seek medical attention as soon as possible, because we know that early diagnosis can save life, but also can help us to reduce some of the life-changing complications that are associated with diabetes. Key to that, today as World Diabetes Day, we are announcing a major study that we are co-funding with co-funding with JDRF, and the study is a study to be able to screen people who are at a higher risk of developing type 1 diabetes. We know that before people develop the condition, they will have some markers in their blood that we can test, which show us that they are on their way to getting the condition. If we are able to screen them well, and this one we are doing it with children between the ages of 3 and 13. If we are successful in screening people well, what we would do would be to provide them with ongoing support, but also what to do when they develop those symptoms. And key to that, those people will receive a test every 6 months, so that when they do go on to develop diabetes, it wouldn't be when they develop DKA, because at the moment in UK, quarter, which we think shouldn't be on at all. And the second campaign is also around the risk factors of type 2 diabetes. So again, we are asking our community to help us to encourage people to risk assess themselves. We are hoping that between now and next year, we'll be able to encourage 1 million people to check their risk of developing type 2 diabetes, because we know that when people are able to check their risk and we are able to give them the necessary support to reduce their risk, we know that the numbers of people getting diagnosed will go down. So those are the two key activities that we are asking our community to help us raise awareness around.
Thank you, Douglas. That's quite so. Two major campaigns on this day throughout the UK on screening and on early risk factors. Screening for type 1 diabetes risk is, of course, a relatively new approach. In science, it's quite proven, but rolling it out is quite new. Screening for type 2 diabetes and risk factors that can lead to type 2 diabetes has been established for quite a while. We do something very similar here in Germany, and we'll have it on our website for the German World Diabetes Day, Weltdiabetestag.de. We have a campaign called Unerkannt unterwegs, Living Undetected, which does a very simple multiple choice test, basically, which screens your overall risk and then gives you specific recommendations. So great to see that Diabetes UK is, in this regard, also leading the way, screening for risk factors so that both type 1 and type 2 can be diagnosed early on, because early detection helps save lives. Douglas, I'm just summing this up a little bit because your connection was breaking in between. But last words from the UK. How are you celebrating, and what is the main topic you think will be important for people living with diabetes in the UK next year?
So for next year, there have been a lot of discussions around health inequalities. So what economy, how it's affecting people, because our insight tells us that people are deprioritizing their health because of economic reasons. So we think that next year, things that we need to really work on is how care can be equitable across board so that people can have access to good care. But also there's some conversation around stigma that is associated with diabetes. We think that we can team up with our community and healthcare professionals to reduce the stigma that is associated with diabetes, because we don't think anybody with diabetes should be stigmatized.
That I can very much agree with, and there's a lot of discussions going on in the online community, not only on the dedoc hashtag, but in general about stigma and how to fight it in type 2, in type 1, all over the place. It is becoming a more and more important topic, and it's also an important topic for our next speaker, I know. Douglas, thank you very much for joining us live from London on behalf of Diabetes UK on this special day.